An audio reading of the pastime and life of Baba Kinaram. Baba Kinaram was born around the 1600s in the village of Ramgarh, Chandali, in Varanasi, in a noble but poor Kshatriya family. Manasa Devi, his mother, had reached the middle age without having children, when one night she had a premonitory dream, and soon she gave birth to her first baby. Shortly after the unexpected birth, 3 sadhus went to the house of Akbar Singh, Baba Kimaram's father. His father to congratulate him on the happy event. The oldest one picked up the child and whispered some mantras in his ears, giving him a special blessing, following the astrological signs predicting the child long life and greatness if he had been symbolically assigned to another family. He was given to a neighbor who sold him back to his parents for a little amount of gold. That is the reason why he was named Kina. His real name was Rashi, from one of the names of Shiva in the Vaishnava texts. Baba Kinaram was the eldest of 3 brothers. As a child, he already showed signs of a higher soul, disinterested in day-to-day life, and was a devotee of the Lord. At the age of 5 years, he would collect stones and do puja with flowers and water, and sing Hare Rama for hours. In that period, especially in the country, families used to make marriage pacts when the children were still very young. When he was 12, his parents, already old, thought of arranging his marriage quickly. But just one day before the marriage, the child asked for rice and milk for food, a meal usually related to tragic events. His parents were shocked by such an inauspicious request, and they tried to dissuade him, but in vain. The next morning, news came that the girl he was to marry had died suddenly. After some years, Baba Kinaramji's parents died as well, and he left the paternal house to follow his personal search. The first place he stopped was the ashram of Baba Shivadas, a Vaishnavite who had a very good reputation. Meeting his now guru in the Gazipur, wandering here and there, Saint Shivadas of the Ramanuja sect consecrated Baba Kinaram. After consecration, Baba Kinaram started fierce meditation. Whatever time he would get after serving his guru, he would use it for meditation. Soon this master realized that the young boy had something special, and thought that he might be an avatar, a divine incarnation. He decided to initiate the boy, and so one day he asked him to go to the river, ordering him to carry the ceremonial instruments. When they reached the bank, on the pretext of relieving himself, Shivadas went into the bushes and crouched down, secretly observing his disciple. Greatly astonished, he saw that the Ganges was swelling and was getting near to lap at his feet of Kinaramji. Shivadas understood that this boy was a great soul. After some time, the master left a widower and decided to marry again. But Kinaramji did not like this and said to his guru, "O Maharaji, if you take a new wife, I will look for another master." Shivadas was now irritated and prompted him to do whatever he was saying. The young Baba, after leaving the ashram, got back on his journey and reached the village where a widow in tears went to him saying that her young and only son had been reduced to slavery to pay an old debt. Baba went to the zamindar who held the boy in bondage and asked him to release the boy. But the zamindar refused, insisting that his debt must be paid first. Kinaramji asked the crores of persons to dig under his feet. To his great surprise, a little treasure appeared, and it was more than enough to pay off the debt. The boy was freed, and the zamindar threw himself at the feet of Kinaramji, imploring for forgiveness. The mother of the child that had been freed said, "Well, you saved the boy, and now he is yours. You are his father." And the boy would follow him gratefully. That way, Vija, such was his name, became the first disciple of Baba Kinaramji and was renamed Bijaramji. Going on with their search, they arrived at the Mount Garinar, where Baba undertook a long sadhana, receiving darshan, face-to-face contact of Sri Dattatreya, and Baba Kularamji. These masters in spiritual form initiated him to the Agor practices and gave him several perfections. These are siddhis. Later on, Baba wrote that Dattatreya was a Siddheshwar and a combination of Shiva Shakti. Sri Dattatreya is the essence of the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, of whom he has all the attributes. Going down to Jangar, at the feet of the Mount Girnar, they camped outside the town of Baba. Before retiring to meditation, sent the disciple into the city for begging. The Nawab, a Muslim governor of the city, had issued the orders to arrest all beggars and the sadhus, and so the young boy was imprisoned for begging an alms in that town. Baba Kinaramji, not seeing his disciple Bijaramji come back, Kinaramji used his powers to see what had happened to Bijaramji. He went to the city and got himself arrested too. Hundreds of sadhus and beggars in the miserable condition were forced to hard labor. Baba Kinaramji was also sent to handle heavy millstones. When he was taken with the others forced prisoners to where the millstones were, he hit them with a stick, and they started moving by themselves. The fact was reported to the Nawab, who immediately ran to their prison and invited Baba at the palace. Paying his respects and offering precious gifts, Baba took some precious stones among the gifts, and after putting them in his mouth, he spat them out, claiming that they didn't have any taste. The governor asked what he could do for him. Baba told him to cancel the order arresting all beggars and sadhus, and to give every day a measure of flour to them in his name. The Nawab obeyed Baba's request, and was blessed with the birth of a son, for whom he had been waiting for a long time. The tradition of distributing food to the sadhus survived in Jangar to modern time. The two sadhus kept going through Kutch marshes, present-day Pakistan, and reached Hingalaj Devi's Shakti Peeth, where they stopped. Baba Kinaramji started his penance in honor of the goddess, and soon a woman started to bring very good food to him. Baba Kinaramji asked the woman to introduce herself. Seeing her hesitating, he added that he would take no more food without knowing who she was first. The woman manifested herself in her real form of Hingalaj and invited the saint to go to Krimkund in Kashi, in Varanasi, in the future. Later on, they retired in the Himalaya for other practices. Then, accepting the invitation of Hingalaj Devi, they went to Kashi. When they arrived at the crematory ground of the Harichanda Ghat, Kinaramji saw Nagore, Baba Kularamji, in the midst of some skulls. Baba Kinaramji recognized in that body the spiritual entity who had initiated him on the Girnar with Sri Dattatreya. Kularamji said he was hungry, and Kinaramji prayed to the Ganges. Immediately some fishes jumped out of the river and ended straight up to the roast on a nearby on the funeral pyre. The Ganges was in flood, and Kularamji pointed to a floating body, saying that it was a dead man. Kinaramji replied that the body was not dead at all, and called him on the riverbank. Unrolling the body from the shrouds, a living being came out, and became a disciple of Baba Kinaramji. He was given the name of Ram, Jivan Ram. Together they set off for Krimkund, where Kularamji was living. Baba Kularamji and Baba Kinaramji established the eternal Duni, a fire, kept continuously burning till today. He also came back to his native village, Ramgarh, where he was honored with a great ceremony, and where he dug a well with curative properties. Drawing the water from one of the four cardinal directions, you can get different therapeutic qualities. Even Krimkund has exceptional powers. Kids and women can be cured from many diseases, bathing in it on a particular dates. On another occasion, while he was at Surat, he heard that a small crowd was gathering to lynch a widow who gave birth to an illegitimate child. Baba Kinaram reached the place, and after asking the reason for the turmoil, he suggested that they must find the father too, and that he should be tied tightly to the widow and to her child, and that they had to throw them all together in the sea. He added that if they wanted, he could reveal the name of the father, since he was among those present. The crowd immediately dispersed. Probably many had abused the defenseless woman. Many miracles and wonders are attributed to Baba Kinaramji, told in his biographies and kept in popular stories. His huge fame attached the curiosity and the interest of the powerful people of that period. From Shah Jahan, the builder of the Taj Mahal, to the cruel Aurangzeb and the king of Benares, Chat Singh, his life was very long, and when the time of leaving the body came, he called his disciples and devotees, giving them the instructions for his burial. He asked for hookah, a water pipe, and then a rumble like that of an earthquake accompanied the appearance of a celestial light. A ray of light came out of Baba's head and rose up in the sky with extraordinary speed, disappearing among the clouds, accompanied by harmoniums, musical notes. Baba Kinaramji is regarded as an Agoreshwar and one of the most important saints of Benares. His fame and his memory are still vibrant and vivid both among the spiritual searchers and the population. Many were the writings of Baba, but only 5 survived: Viviksar, Unmani Ram, Ram Gita, Ramsar, and the Gita Vali. In memory of his first master, Shivadas, he established 4 Vaishnava ashrams in Murapur, Nadhi, Parampur, and Maharpur. In honor of Shri Dattatreya and Baba Kularamji, he established 4 Gaurimaths, monasteries: Krimkund in Kashi, Varanasi, and Ramgar's native village, and Deval Gazapur, and Harihorapur, and Janapur. This is a compilation reading from the Gauram Kinakatha by Trivikaram Das.